there's a lot of severe weather that is coming that we have to talk about. So let's get straight into the video. All right, so our first thing we have to talk about here. This is before we get into everything. I know this is smaller, but before we get into anything, I just want to talk about this tornado warning right here, because I mean this is gonna be very effective soon. But if you're in here, actually, let me view this on the app, the WeatherWise app. Here, here. Let me view this on. So if you live anywhere like over here in this red, there's like mini tropical storm, like hurricanes forming, especially down over here. This is a little one. It's a typhoon warning, high surf warning. So if you're going out surfing today, I would just be careful. Or if you're even going on the ocean, there's gonna be some highways and stuff. You know, typhoon, high surf, high surf. It's also coastal flood watches. There's also a little bit of a tsunami forming, so you also gotta watch out for that over here. But I mean, this is gonna be a pretty big storm over here. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know what's gonna happen with that, but yeah. But before we get into all of that, let's open my friend Chrome. So if you guys are, just going to RyanHallYoung.com, just looking, let's see if he's streaming today. All right, and you come across this, standing by until 7 p.m. Eastern time. We're like, what the hell does that mean? Is he gonna stream later or what? Well, let me tell you guys what this means. Okay, so standing by is he's what? Who cares? Okay, but standing by until 7 p.m. Eastern means that. So it says score needs to reach 99.4 for stream activation. So if the weather intensity score hits 99.4 today at any point before 7 p.m. Eastern time, then let's go. And stream's gonna happen. But if it's anything after 8 o'clock, he's probably not gonna stream. So 7 o'clock Eastern is the latest that we're gonna go live. I would say for me, I would probably start this cover at a 70 intensity score, like at least a 75 intensity score. But I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I'll think about it. But it's gonna get pretty active. But see, there's already a 40% chance, and like it only looks like it's gonna go up to 70.6, but still it can get pretty high. Tomorrow, it's the same thing. I mean. There's a lot. And then Tuesday, we get now 50%. Like, this one's confirmed. I'm going to be doing something there. Wednesdays are most confirmed day ever. We're doing it. But, like, we can see, guys, that, like, these are going to be, like, 15-minute storms. That's why the intensity score is so low and stuff. Let's see if there's just anything here. Yeah, okay, this is a good photo. So what is happening is the mountaintop, the cold storm, the dry slot, and the cold front, severe updrafts, hail, warm, moist, plains, and rains. This is the plains right here. And this all comes and makes tornadoes with moist and all that. But yeah, but also today, if you're like somewhere in Chicago, Springfield, anywhere pretty much in Illinois, it's like 90 degrees, but later it's going to drop. So you're probably going to get a tornado watch on that in a little bit. But you guys can look at all the alerts in the WeatherWise app for iOS, Android. You can launch the browser for Mac, Windows, and Linux. So, I mean, you can do all that for free. For free. So, yeah. Let's get into the forecast now. That was a lot of yapping. Alright, so what's happening? Oop, let me actually do this real quick. I messed up. has to go like that. That's a better view. Okay, so what's happening today? Alright. Let's go to our categorical. Dude. Alright. So this covers up a lot of the USA. We can see that already. This covers up a big portion of the USA. Alright, so what's happening with this, if we go in a little more, is California, okay, there's winter storm warnings. And why is there a marginal risk right here? Well, the reason why we've been talking about this a lot is why this is there. Oh my god, my watch is blowing up right now. Hold up. Dude, I can't. But what's happening with this is a marginal risk right here. So everything is gonna close out on this, like the tornadoes and all that. It's all gonna close out right here on all the screen. So watch out for a big closeout, because that is a big closeout. That's gonna happen later today. So watch out for that. But also look down here, California. This is where another storm, but that marginal risk was right along the coastline over here. That's gone. That happened yesterday. It doesn't seem that bad. It was just a tornado warning for about like 45 minutes, but wasn't that bad. And then we got another one that this actually goes into Canada too. This is North Dakota, pretty much, kind of. So what this is another closeout, but also it's not just a closeout. So half of the side, okay. So the closeout is coming in, and it's gonna curve into here. So this is where the closeout's gonna happen. Okay, that's where the closeout's gonna happen. But then storms are gonna travel into the other side real quick. The storms are gonna come from all the way from this slight risk, and it's gonna make its way into here and cause a big storm. So that's why they decided to connect it and make a marginal risk. So yeah, watch out for that. If we go over here, oh, what is this? Okay, we'll talk about that. So what we have to talk about, okay? Okay, so we can see most of Illinois, most of Indiana, most of Iowa, most of Missouri, most of Arkansas, most of Texas, most of Louisiana, not most, is covered by either a general risk, marginal risk, or a slight risk. So, you gotta watch out for that. Yeah. So, what's gonna happen with all this? You guys are just gonna see a big line of storms, a bunch of severe thunderstorms and tornadoes traveling across, because all the supercells and stuff that are happening, that's gonna travel all around and stuff, and yeah, it's not gonna be the best thing that's gonna happen. But there's gonna be a lot of stuff that is gonna be traveling around and stuff. So watch out for that, because the storms are gonna get pretty insane. I am not gonna lie. There's gonna be some insane storms. So watch out for this, because there's gonna be storms, tornadoes, like the temperature's gonna drop. Actually, if we actually go up here to Chicago, this might get upgraded either to a marginal risk, possibly even a slight risk, because of how big the temperature is. So I'd say right now in Chicago it's like 80, 83 degrees maybe. I may think about it dropping around 60 degrees, which can cause some big tornadoes and stuff. So just be careful for that. and watch out. Same, but even we're really concerned is like over here at Springfield, Peoria. Where we really got to talk about even in St. Louis, where there's gonna be a big drop. It's gonna be 90 degrees up to 60 degrees. It's gonna be even more big of a drop. And then here we start our marginal risk right here, where this is gonna happen. It's bad stuff. So what's gonna happen? Okay, we can already see this is covered up by slight risk. So what's gonna happen is gonna be some storms starting, but also what we gotta talk about is a huge jet stream coming up, shooting up from all the way here in northern Mexico, like right here, like San Bernardino, Monclova, and Nuevo Laredo. It's gonna shoot up all the way into the slight risk, and it's gonna cause some problems. So watch out for that, because that's gonna not be too shabby. So watch out for that, but yeah, but also a closeout's gonna happen on this marginal risk. So let's watch out if you're highlighted on this area. I'll make a short later actually on this. It'll help out. All right, let's go to day 2. So tomorrow we get our storms shift a little bit and the jet stream stops. They shift a little more to the east, right around the southeast. I'd say even part of the southeast, like over Kentucky. But we also got a new storm that starts to spawn up here. We have a marginal risk, which this is what's probably gonna happen later today, but we don't know yet. But the intensity score, like right now, it's literally 19.99. So like, there's not gonna really be like bad storms that like are coming or anything. But like, that's why the intensity score so low. Because you're gonna be like 20-minute storms and then they're gonna stop. But this is gonna be a so big storm that it's all gonna overlap and make it, a longer storm. So I mean, that's why we're talking about this so much and stuff. I mean, it seems a little weird, but it's really not. But what's gonna happen here is a little bit of a closeout. I wouldn't expect the closeout to really happen, but what we are expecting is storms starting to happen. Some bad storms with some baseball-sized hail, and the slight risk over here that are gonna happen over here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And we're gonna see some bad flash flooding and flooding gonna happen all around where if you're highlighted. But watch out for that. But over here, once we go to downgrade to our marginal risk, I mean, this is probably going to be similar to something like the slight risk over here. I mean, I'd expect it to be similar to the slight risk, but, who knows what's going to happen. Who knows? Anything could happen. But yeah, just watch out. If you're in that highlight area, same as over here, general risk we're not going to talk about. We're just going to expect just a couple storms that are going to happen. No closeouts or anything on the general risks. But if we go down here to this, probably an overlap of a storm, we can see this is a big overlap right here on this marginal and the slight risk, which that's a little bit of concerning because general risk and marginal risk is not as bad, but if you see a marginal risk and a slight risk overlap, it's not gonna be too good. It's gonna be a big storm, so I'd just watch out for all that. But yeah, it's gonna get a little bad. But yeah. So watch out for this big overlap, which can cause big crunch storms and stuff if you're on day 2. But something that we also gotta talk about is this huge weather statement, special weather statement. That's just down here. It's just a huge severe weather statement. Alright, last day of the categorical. So this storm jumps up a lot more to the east again. And So yeah. So the storm's gonna jump up all the way until we get pretty much into Canada, which literally the coastline of Canada, you're in this. We won't talk about Canada though. Just know that if you're on the coastline right here of USA, you're in this. Scared of a jump? Also, just watch out for this flash flood warning. It's the big one. It's one of those. Alright. But we can see on the border it's a general risk. This is normal. It borders around the general risk. This is normal. So there usually borders. So storms. That's why this gets even more upgrade because storms are going to try to fit in and it's going to travel in over here to the slight and marginal risk. So yeah, that's why that's there. But going to our marginal risk. So this is why there's a marginal risk right here and why there's no slight risk. It's because the storms are kind of going to die down a little bit, but then they're going to pick up a lot more moisture, and it's going to drop down the temperature if you're on over here, and then it's going to make its way up over here on the slight risk. So that's what's going to happen with that. But, so watch out for that, just for that to happen if you're in this highlighted area. But down here, same thing. It's the same thing on this whole risk that's happening. Over here, y'all just expect a new storm to happen. But this right here in Cleveland, this is gonna probably affect over here. So yeah, let's go to our next couple days so we can go farther into this. So this is probabilistic. This is any type of storms except hurricanes and tropical weather events and stuff that can't even happen there. So that's that. But I'm boom, boom. That's what that. So watch out for that, cause this is a big thing that might happen. So watch out for this. Any severe risk, especially here. That is day 3. We go to day 4. It's only yellow, and this is where we get even more severe. If we can actually view this. So right here we can see. Okay. We can already tell this is a little more of a bad storm that's expecting to take place. Right over here in this 15% risk right here. So what we're talking about this is it's gonna be some bad storms. Just baseball size hail, golf ball size hail, anything above all that. And tornadoes and severe thunderstorms. So get ready to take shelter. Have a plan ready for the next 3-4 days because it's gonna get pretty effective. Alright, well once we get to day 5 it pretty much ends. But it kicks back off on day 6. So we're probably gonna have a break on day 5, but day 6 it kicks back off again with new storms starting over here. So this is next Saturday. This is a new storm that we'll talk about on like Friday and stuff. This is a new storm that's starting, actually. So what's gonna happen with these is any severe, but we don't. It's kind of too early to tell what this is gonna really be. We haven't even made any videos. I haven't even dived into this, so I don't know what's gonna happen there. I just wanna shoot at that there's a little bit of a warning there, and then it ends and it doesn't kick off at all. Alright. Well, so yeah, but let's look now at flooding. Okay. Because flooding is gonna get pretty effective. Okay, but we're talking about right here. This is where our major flash flooding and stuff is gonna happen. Hold on, guys. Okay, but we're talking about here. Okay, this is a slight risk, but some with all these bad storms and tornadoes that are gonna happen, this is gonna get pretty effective because there's gonna be some bad flash flooding and stuff that's gonna drop in over there. Actually, before we get past that, I just want to show tornadoes for. So yeah, we can see this. This kind of explains it. So what this really kind of explains is this explains it. All these tornadoes and severe thunderstorms that we can see. This is gonna explain the flooding that's gonna happen. So just watch out for some major flooding, tornadoes. But that really kind of explains it. And then over here, this also explains it. But now we're not to Iowa yet, but this also explains it up here. And up here, this also gets explained too. But yeah, just know that there's gonna be some bad flooding. Alright, let's get over flooding. Let's go back to flooding. Actually, we need to talk about hail real quick. This is also what tells hail up here, day 2 up here, and down over here, especially. So that explains that. But if we go to excessive rainfall, this is oh wait, this is today. This is going to happen down here, some big storms. Up here, we've been talking about this. And over here, this is going to eventually try to turn into a slight burst because storms are going to start forming there. And it's already going to be, it's going to be flooding while there's storms and stuff. That's already happening. So, I mean, like, yeah. So, just, yeah. Watch out for that. That's what's going to happen, it looks like. But day 2, we can see, oh my god, this is still a marginal risk. But marginal risk is a head of front general. But all the flooding now is over here now, which already is flooding. But this is all now flooding over here, which this is grows even bigger too. So this is gonna be some big storms and stuff that's gonna happen. Bad flooding because all the storms. We already told you that explains. Then it goes down here. There's a big threat that dupes all the way here. But if you go to category and you go to day 3, it's all yellow. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense because there's going to be storms all across there, which is going to cause flooding to crash in and expand and have big flooding that's going to spread all around this big marginal risk. So that's why there's a marginal risk there. So, like, yeah. But just watch out for that. Big flooding's going to happen. But then over here, it shrinks a little bit because flooding's going to probably go in the lakes and stuff, and then ends. So just watch out for that. Flooding for the next 3 days. Let's talk about wildfires now. Ooh. We gotta talk about some dry thunderstorms and wind and reflex. Okay. So there's well that's happening. There's gonna be some dry thunderstorms also in these areas. There's gonna be some little bit of dry around, a rapid dry onset too. Talk about the droughts too. But with this, it's going to get pretty dry, and it's going to cause one little spark, one little cigarette, something like that. It's going to spread all around, and this is going to eventually connect and make it even worse. But there's going to be some little threats. But we can see there's going to be some little threats that yeah, just watch out for that. Day 2, then it gets even more critical, which this is expected to go over here. It's gonna, right here, it's gonna be fired, and if this crashes in with the critical, it's not gonna be good. But then right here, it is not just a risk. It's just gonna get dry and stuff. Yeah. Alright, let's now talk about the drought real quick. If I can find it. Here, I just saw it here, drought. Okay. So this is a CPC drought. Alright, so there's amberly dry, moderate, severe, and extreme and exceptional drought. So we're gonna only talk about extreme and exceptional, but it's gonna get pretty warm and stuff. Which, especially over here down in Florida, which we'll talk about the temperatures changes and stuff. But over here, this is gonna be an exceptional. This is gonna get very dry and have wet dry thunderstorms, which is gonna be critical and might spread all around here. That's why there's extreme all around. But this is where we really gotta talk about special neutral over there. And now we gotta talk about a rapid onset drought. And then we gotta talk about one more thing. Alright, we're gonna talk about one more thing real quick. Or two more things, actually. We have to talk about tropical cyclone formation. And there's also Denise fog advisory. What we really gotta talk about is stuff that's happened over here with tropical cyclones and all that. So there's a big there's a big risk like right here. There's gonna be like a big. This is gonna be like a hurricane. This is a big start of a form of a hurricane. Like there's little specks that are having typhoon warnings. Like this is a guys. This is a big form of a hurricane out here in the southern Pacific Ocean. So I mean I don't know what's gonna happen with this, but this is where it's gonna travel and expect to hit over here. And this I don't know what that is. I think it's like Party Ticoon. I think. But yeah, that's expected to happen. Just watch out. But look at all the warnings. Look at all the warnings this is. This is a tropical storm warning, high surf warning, typhoon watch, high surf advisory, coastal flood. Okay, just watch out for that if you're in that highlighted area, because it's gonna hit that small island. And we're also just gonna talk about a little rip current statement. Waves are higher, so do not go as deep as you do on surfing. If you are. Then now we gotta talk about temperature, because the temperature is gonna get pretty crazy. If I can find it, what the heck? Okay, here, slight risk of much above normal temperatures. This is gonna be a big heat wave. You guys are skipping spring and going all the way to July. So, I mean, like, I don't know about this, guys. This is gonna be a big risk, but it's gonna get up to 90 degrees over here, even 100 down here. That's why there's a rip current statement, honestly. But just watch out for that, because that's gonna get pretty warm. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have for you guys, and I'll see you guys probably later for a cover. Just keep checking the weather. That's our video for today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.